You are now listening to Ride With Me, the Flat Tire Podcast.
Welcome to Ride With Me, episode 127. Today is January 11th, 2025. And before I introduce my guests, let's get to it. The hotline. Guys, go ahead. Guys and girls, go ahead and give it a call. Leave a voice message. Again, you can call it anonymous. You don't have to leave your number on there. Just call and say, hey, this is so-and-so from so-and-so place, and leave a voice message, a question for myself or a question for a past guest. I will get that answer for you, and I will plug your voicemail on a future podcast episode. Same thing, don't forget to check out the Ride With Me podcast on Instagram, the FTA podcast on TikTok, and on YouTube. And don't forget to check out my sponsors' Instagram page, LABRANDPERLA, LABRANDPERLA at Instagram. I believe he also has the www.per_la.com. Go check him out. He is a sponsor of the podcast. He's not someone that Spotify gave me as a little perk. No, he is someone that was going to be here today and couldn't make it. So, anyways, on to my guest. He's been on the podcast before. He brought his son today, so anything his son says will be consent. I have you allow it. I have Tyrone.
How you doing?
And his son Jayden.
Hello.
So, guys, how is it too late to ask? Or is it too? Yeah, is it too late to ask? How were the holidays?
No, it's still post holiday right now. I see your stuff is still up.
Yes, my wife does not allow me to take Christmas decorations off until after her birthday. The beautiful thing is tomorrow is her birthday. Okay. So that means tomorrow that shit will be coming down. And how were the holidays?
Oh, it was good. Just went to my fiance mom's house for Christmas Eve. And then everything was good. So
nothing. You guys don't do any special, any weird, not weird, any traditions that out of the ordinary.
No, I mean traditions just Christmas Eve at her mom's house. Christmas Day we don't normally go anywhere or anything like that. It's just us at home.
Yeah, we do the same thing. Well, with this past Christmas, we stayed till midnight because we had to go. Yes, I said we had to go to midnight mass. And because the boys are like, we don't want to go to church on Christmas. I'm like during the day, right? Because we meet with the family, and sometimes it's in the morning, sometimes it's midday, sometimes it's in the evening. It just sucks for my schedule because I have to go to work the next day. So I think this year that we met, this past Christmas, we met at 4:00. So by 7:00 we had to come home because I had to go to work the next day. So we stayed up till midnight, went to mass at midnight on the dot. We were sitting on the pews at church waiting for the mass to start. And since it was midnight mass, it ran a little bit longer because the priests like to do multiple languages. So English, Spanish, and then I'm not sure what Filipino language is called, but they do it in Filipino also. So mass ended and we came home, opened gifts, and then I think we knocked out about like 2:00 in the morning maybe. When did I see mass? 1? Yeah. Let's say we went to open the gifts real quick, went to bed, and then woke up the next morning at Christmas morning, 9:00 in the morning. I was up and about making everybody breakfast and shit.
Yeah, no, I mean, as far as tradition-wise, I haven't seen, let's just say, my dad's side of the family in a long time. I've run into them here and there throughout the year. And I was telling my fiance, just kind of miss doing the whole runaround during the day as far as going to see the family,
Yeah.
Normally as a kid, it was like I'd have my relatives come to our house or we'd be going over there.
Yeah.
So it's like by afternoon, you're at your aunt and uncle's. By nighttime, dinner time, you're at your grandparents' house.
Yeah.
So it's like going from Fontana to Pico Rivera to Rosemead and all that stuff. It's kind of miss doing that thing or something.
I like I told my wife a while back. It's I don't have to pretty much take her anywhere for the holidays. It's just pretty much her family. Well, my family here on this side of town, because obviously everyone knows I don't get along with most of my siblings or my mother. And I've always said it, just a hello can be a pain in the ass. Just saying hello can cause so much fucking drama. Right. So I actually spoke to one of my brothers that I do speak to that lives in Ventura County. And I'm like, dude, because he was venting about Thanksgiving. And I was like, you know, if you would have called me, you would have known that I don't go anywhere on Thanksgiving. And this is the reason why. I love my mother-in-law's tradition. She picked it up from her mother. On Thanksgiving, the rules were tradition rules. Rules or tradition, same shit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Guidelines, right? Go do whatever you need to go do on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
Go with your spouse's family. But on Friday, you guys belong to me. So that makes sense. No one, you know, I can't. Or some people have, like, for example, me, I have family in Oxnard. That's an hour and a half away. Yeah. In traffic, it's 3 hours away. So that people that have families in other, you know, counties,
right?
It could be a pain in the ass. So I like this tradition. No one really has anything to say, but like, hey, you guys have no excuses, right?
Right.
And so I tell my wife, isn't it funny that we don't have to do shit? We just don't have to do anything. So I was telling my brother, I'm like, dude, you do understand that on Thanksgiving, if you would have called me and said, hey, can we come over? I would have fucking told you, yeah, with arms open, because we're not doing anything. I asked him, can you guess what we had for Thanksgiving? He's like, I don't know, pizza. I'm like, close enough, bro. We had KFC. Because I told my wife, and this is the first year that I told my wife, why are we going to make everything when we're going to go to your mom's house the next day and have everything again?
Right.
So she was like, what do you suggest? I suggest KFC. And fuck, KFC. KFC was just as expensive, man.
Well, I mean, we were the ones making the turkey. Alicia made her cream corn, and we made a few other things. Now, she is famous from her family and known for making a great cheese ball.
Okay.
So everybody, her nieces and nephews, request it. Everybody's always asking, are you going to bring the cheese ball? You know, all that stuff. You know, my only thing was that I'm not a big, nut person, so she coats it with, is it walnuts or pecans?
Pecans.
Yeah. So I had her integrate it with some cracked up Cheez-Its and bacon bits on the outside.
Yeah.
So it was perfect that way for me.
Yeah.
You know, but that was only made for me. So that had to stay home while the traditional one went to her family's. So.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about this again in 10 months? 11 months? 10 and a half months?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And a blink of an eye, Thanksgiving will be here again. And let's see here. Knots, dude. Was this your first Knots takeover? So again, real quick, let me give the listeners a quick review, whatever, replay, whatever. The radio. So let me remind people. Well, first of all, so I've been working with Tyrone since, I'm gonna say that I've known Tyrone since like maybe 2021.
Mm-hmm.
I was in they had me in a different territory, and he was my merchandiser, and I met him that way. Fast forward last year, maybe the November, December of 2022, right? Like pretty much 2 years later, Tyrone discovers that I am the one and only Flat Tire Andy, the same person that the radio show shouts out or has on the show or whatever. That he was like, what the fuck, really? You're Flat Tire Andy? No shit. Like straight fanboying, and like, what the fuck? Did I just say it?
My wife, basically, fiance, you know, but what? She was like gushing because they're always talking about you, and she'll, oh yeah, they said Flat Tire Andy is talking like this, and I text her, and her jaw is basically emoji drop, you know. She's like, you've been working on it and you didn't know? I'm like, yeah. You know?
So this was the first time that I've seen them come to the Knott's Berry Farm takeover. So once a year, the radio show, the Valentine in the Morning here in Burbank, they do a Knott's Berry Farm Merry Christmas takeover.
Yeah.
And they pretty much shut the park down for a couple hours, 4 or 5 hours tops. And it's only the listeners, so pretty much the people that win tickets. And since I have been a listener for a very long time and kind of been part of their show, I don't have to win shit. But everybody else here has to win, including Tyrone won this year.
Well, yeah, that year that I found out from you when we were basically working in the back of in the beer cooler.
Yeah.
And you tell me, I'm like, what? And then you tell me that you had to tell them, no, I can't go this year. I'm like,
Shit,
dude,
give 'em to
shit.
me.
You know, I could have gotten those tickets from you. It's like,
Yeah.
shit.
So, Tyrone was there this year, but you didn't bring your son, right? Your son wasn't with us?
No, because I only get them on the weekends. So
You only get him on that's right. And we went on, it was on a Tuesday.
yeah.
I normally don't. I normally suck it up and go to work the next day. Not this year.
Yeah.
Not this past year, dude. And not this last takeover. I freaking pulled ahead Monday, Tuesday, so that I wouldn't have any work to do on Wednesday. So we went to the takeover on Wednesday. Shit, I chilled. I woke up, at 7 to take the boys to school? They still went to school. I don't give a shit. You guys are still going to school.
Yeah.
You guys slept more than 7 to 8 hours, so I am not. So you guys are going to school. So this is your second takeover?
Second one, yeah, we made it in to a previous one, way before, like maybe 2-3 years prior.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that was this was the second one.
Nice.
But the second one officially being that we got in because we're on the list.
Yeah,
already
we're on the list. We're the ones. Yeah, no, we it's a fun night, dude. I mean, it sucks that it's so late, but it's a fun night. I ended up taking some friends. I don't know if you've heard the podcast. George and his family went with us. We met at Sergio's parents' pizza shop because they have a pizza shop down the street from Knott's.
Okay.
It's, dude, the man. I'm gonna give that. This is hashtag not an ad, but I will be saying it. Papa Joe's Pizza. And he throws the pizza in the oven, dude. Like, we left the house and we called him, hey, but we won't be there for like an hour. Traffic is bad. And he's like, no, it's okay. We put the order in. And we got there and he had the pizzas like, oh, yeah, pulling them out of the oven. Oh, okay, Andres, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, Andy, here you go. And, like I said, his son is Sergio. He's one of the regular listeners also. And, I remember the first year he took us there. My treat, guys. I got you guys. I'm like, what? Yeah, just meet me here. I got you guys. We're gonna eat some pizza. We're gonna eat dinner before we go to the Knott's. And I'm like, all right, cool. It's him and myself and my family. And I don't know if you guys heard of Wooden Hat Ed. And we get there and we're eating pizza. And we're trying to kind of pay for the pizza. And no, it's okay, dude. I got you guys. All right. Oh, you got it. Oh, I mean, I still feel bad. Can we give a tip or whatever? Yeah. He's like, nah, those are my parents. I'm like, what the fuck? Well-mannered people. Well, they're what do you call it? They're how do you call it when they present themselves? Or
charisma?
just well-mannered people. Very, what do you call it? Humble people.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I freaking love it. So this is not, like I said, we met there before going to the park, and we had pizza, and it's like, no, my buddy too, George, he called up, and they did the same thing. They called and said, hey, we're going to be there at this time, and can we order our food now? And the only thing is that because of COVID, they don't let since COVID, there's a small little shop, dude. I think their shop is probably as big as this podcast room. And, so they, there's no eating inside, no seating.
Right.
But we tailgate that bitch, bro. We tailgated that. The CRVs, if you guys have a Honda CRV, if you don't know this by now, but there's a table underneath in the trunk. A little 4x4, like a table like this one where I have my podcast on. Okay. And we took some chairs and we tailgated, man. People were driving by us like, the hell? Hey, man, gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of eating pizza in the car. It's
messy.
Thank you. And wings too.
Oh no, not wings in the car. Oh boy, the sauce, especially buffalo wings.
Exactly.
Or when you're eating in the driver's seat and then that little piece of meat or whatever ends up falling between the middle console and the seat.
Exactly. And then you forget about it, and like months later, it smells funky in there. Yeah, no.
You want to know what my dad calls that area between the seat and the center console?
Oh, what is it?
He calls it the gnome pocket.
The non-pocket?
Gnome. Like garden gnome pocket. Gnome pocket.
You know how like just your sock goes in the dryer, but somehow you only come out with one sock instead of the whole pair?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the dryer gnomes.
I hate when my phones fall through there. Because then it's like, what? Then I got to get out of the car, push the seat forward. And it's the button one.
Yeah.
So it's 5 minutes later. Oh, there it is.
Makes it seem like an Austin Powers scene.
Exactly.
Right?
Then you grab the freaking phone out, and then again you hit that button. 5 minutes later, you can sit back down.
Yeah.
I hate that. I'm like, fucking gravity. I fucking hate you.
I dropped my watch down there one time, and I had to do the same thing. So, but we were driving, and we didn't have anywhere to pull over, so I tried putting my hand between there, and I found this little, like, Taco Bell packet. Like, you know the little Taco Bell packets, like it was a spicy one?
Yeah.
And it's on the label. You know how they all say something?
Yeah.
On the label, it said, "Too bad you're not single."
So when I first got the car, I bought it. It was brand new. It only had 3 miles. And the one thing that the guys told me at the dealerships that you have warranty for pretty much anything in the car. If the tires pop, not if they pop, but if I get a nail,
right,
warranty, you'll get new ones. But the catch is you have to keep buying them from them. Shit, these fucking tires like $400. And then like the seats, if there's a tear on the seat, on the leather or whatever, it's covered. They will take care of it. A mess or whatever. Okay, cool. So, first couple of days of having the car and whatever, and then I took the boys to, I think it was McDonald's, and hashtag not an ad, and took them to, they were looking for their sweet and sour sauce. I'm like, well, they didn't give us enough, or they didn't give us any. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, they didn't give us any. I'm like, well, I'm not going back. At first, I was on top of cleaning the car. Vacuuming it, washing it every day. It's a new toy, right? The divider in the back seat where it's like a cup holder. Mm-hmm. I pulled that son of a bitch down. Guess what I found in between that?
Sweet and sour sauce.
Sweet and sour sauce everywhere. Yes.
Oh my god.
I was pissed. But that was when I first got the car. Now there's sweet and sour packets in the doorknobs. There's sweet and sour packets in the cup holders. There's sweet and sour barbecue sauce in my trunk.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk about a mess.
Yeah. So
I was this guy on a Saturday morning out there, 7 a.m. cleaning the car.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a break today, huh?
Yeah.
Want to podcast more often? So for you, buddy, how's again? The dad is here. Dad gave me permission to have a sit down with this kid. Again, I normally do not have children on the podcast. He's a teenager, 14, right?
Yeah.
And I did have
18.
I did have kids on the podcast last week, but most of them were already in college, and I think 17-year-olds. So if I get sued by their parents. Pablo, you better not tell your mom. Anyways, how's school for you, buddy?
It's pretty good. Still kind of trying to get used to going from 7th to 8th grade. It's a little bit of a stretch.
You're still in junior high?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's
last
right.
year.
Last year. So you're gonna start. Oh, you already started high school.
No, I start high school.
This
is. I'm in 8th grade and I'm halfway done with 8th grade. So I start high school
in June or August. Okay. All right. So how do you feel about that one?
It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
I mean, junior high is to get you ready for high school. So all it is, classes are gonna get probably a little bit more harder. But if you're already been on top of it, you should be fine.
Yeah, I'm trying my best to stay on top of it. It gets a little hard to stay on top of all the work they give me, but I normally try to catch up.
Are you considering any, what do the boys call it, curriculums? Is that the word? Classes. So for example, my boys, instead of taking PE, they went in band. Yeah. Are you considering anything, sports or?
I'm not so sure about sports. I did sport before. I did rugby. But only did that for a year. Just kind of wanted to try it.
Right.
And not really sure about sports. I might try to get back into them. Might not.
So
kind of like a little bleh on that.
So you're not 100% sure about sports?
Yeah, not 100% on that.
Tyrone, word of advice?
What's that?
Cut him, dude. Cut him.
Got him?
Cut him, dude. Make him walk home, dude. Make him walk home. No, I take that. No, I'm just joking. I wanted my boys to play sports so bad, but then when I saw them in band, I was like, oh shit, like this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't mind him being in sports or going to try for it. I know he gets a little concerned about the whole timing as far as, my time to get him and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I told him, you want to do something, I will make it work with my schedule. I have to work that out. Whatever scheduling your mom wants to set up, if she wants to put in you in sports, I will figure out a way to get over there and handle it.
Right.
But we're not going to know how to handle it unless you want to do it. So.
No, exactly. And we'll get on. We'll get into that in a bit about that, why Jayden wants to be. Oh, by the way, this is all Jayden's idea. He wanted to be on the podcast. All right, and then so high school, and you're in the San Bernardino County.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the LA County cell phone ban doesn't apply to you that I know of. No. And then what about well, you're not in high school yet, so I can't even ask you that. You're not in high school yet. But you know what, man? I'm gonna ask you some questions since I have you here. I don't know if you guys heard last week's podcast episode, but I had a bunch of kids here explaining to me a bunch of terms. So I'm gonna ask you some of these terms as well, and I want you to give me the definition of what you think these words are.
Oh boy.
Yes. So, what is phantom tax?
Oh boy. Not the brain rot.
I'm at a loss for what is that? I didn't even understand what you said.
He's gonna explain it to us.
Oh my god. Speaking of your last week's podcast, that's all it was yesterday in the car.
Yeah,
that's all it was.
Listening?
Oh my gosh, it's like stealing something.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Okay,
and then, the term again?
But a bad way.
Phantom. The thing is that when I pronounced the word last week on last week's episode, I pronounced it how I see it, but now that I know it, so phantom. How do you spell phantom? A PH, right? Right. This one's with the FA. So I said like phantom tax, and they started laughing at me. So now that I know it's phantom tax, skippity toilet.
Oh my god. All my friends say it. I don't like saying all this brain rot stuff.
Yeah, no. Well, okay. Thank you. There was Riz, there was Mew, there was Mugging, there was Skippity Riz, there was Skippity Ohio Riz.
Oh my gosh.
G-Watt.
I heard it all tomorrow. Yeah, I heard it all yesterday.
Level 1 G-Watt, level this, whatever.
Oh my gosh.
So, okay. Yeah, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole then.
Oh yeah, no, there's an entire episode on that. So.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself after I recorded the episode, and I was like, you know what? Like, we had words back then, didn't we? Didn't we have like crop dusting? And can you think of any?
At least we knew crop dusting meant, okay, you let some gas go, and
as you're walking past your friends,
yeah, yeah,
what other terms? Can you think of any other ones? I didn't think of this while I was talking to the kids, but I should have. But we have your son here, so we're going to educate him.
Is, the whole Snoop Dogg thing being for shizzle, my nizzle.
Oh yeah,
that kind of thing.
Those are all in his songs, man.
But yeah,
I can't think of many, man. Like back, okay, so these challenges nowadays. So back in the day, we had like the milk challenge. If you can drink a gallon of milk in less than half an hour. If you can, the cinnamon challenge.
I'm a milk drinker, but I'm not going to do that because that's just going to make me throw up.
The cinnamon challenge. That one, I did the cinnamon challenge with my brother Alex and his best friend Larry. And dude, the owner of the house, because we were in a room, the owner of the house came back and she saw cinnamon all over her kitchen. She was not happy. But because we had just done the challenge. And I'm no, we're going to clean it. We're just like, it was horrible. Have you ever done a cinnamon challenge?
No, I never. What is that exactly?
It dries your throat up, bro, and you
What do you
start
gotta do? Like,
coughing.
just
A
pour cinnamon down your throat?
Spoonful,
Hmm.
and it dries up your mouth so bad, and you start freaking choking back. My friend Larry, he threw up in the backyard, and then I didn't do any of those, like all those challenges, but now you have like that chip challenge. Then I guess it actually has sent kids to the hospital because it's so freaking spicy.
Oh yeah, it gets sold in like
Get
markets
that
like Target
one
and stuff.
Diablo kind of chip or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
And then there's those, like, this is what I don't understand, where the people are like, oh, these kids are doing the TikTok challenges where they're stealing money from ATM machines and they're fucking doing the, what was it? Like, people are like hanging them kids, not to get dark, but that kids are hurting themselves because of challenges. And I'm like, I'm on TikTok all the time. I get most of my guests from TikTok. Where the fuck are these kids finding these challenges?
I don't know.
Like,
I
seriously?
have no idea. I mean,
The only challenge that I kind of did give my approval was the mannequin challenge.
what is that?
They just stay still. The moment, like, just stop. Don't move. Like, your son already fucked up the video because he's moving. And there was the Andy's Coming challenge. Like the Toy Story.
Uh-huh.
So where they all drop to the floor and
Ah.
pretend to be toys. They just staying still. I give my thumbs up to those two challenges, but the challenges where they have to hurt themselves or steal money from an ATM machine, and that's fucking stupid. I guess they were putting like, because the ATM machines or banks do give you money. If you deposit a check, it'll give you partial of that.
Right.
Apparently these kids were going and saying, oh, it happens all the time, so boom, boom, and then, do you not know that that's going to bite you in the ass? Word of advice. That's a felony, bro. Don't do that.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay. You have more common sense than that, right?
yeah, and my grandpa, he was California Highway Patrol for 32 years, so
Oh, nice.
he knows a lot of right from wrong, and he's trying to teach me to not do anything stupid.
No, that's good. No, that's just stupid.
Yeah. But there is one challenge that me and my dad have been wanting to do. It's called the tortilla challenge. Have you seen that?
The one where they slap you in the face?
Yep,
Yeah.
you pump
Yeah.
water in your mouth, and then
Yeah.
you just get either a small one or a big old flour tortilla, and you just keep going back and forth. Most
Yeah.
of the times it just ends with someone spitting the water out and people slipping and falling. And
I just keep seeing
laughter.
the videos pop up on my thing, and it's like, that'd be funny to do.
Yeah, I think I know someone that did that challenge. That thing, I don't know. I just, to me, that's a waste of tortilla. No offense. But knock it out, dude. I'm sure it'd be funny.
Yeah, I mean, because the other day in the store, you know those giant, like how Stater Brothers has their own tortilla brand, and
Yeah,
they have
yeah.
those giant tortillas.
Hashtag
that are like,
not an ad.
yeah, no, definitely not that. The ones that are like the size of your hands together.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, he picked up the pack and just slapped me in the face and fit in the middle of the store. It was kind of funny.
I am a mandated reporter. If you need me to report this, let me know.
Don't worry, I slapped him too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In that case,
It was equal opportunity.
I do report elderly abuse. If you need me. I mean, I've been accused of it in the past. Might as well do it, right? Anyways, I don't know, man. Some of these challenges are
Dumb.
yeah. I mean, you guys, they're meant to be funny, but you guys are like these kids nowadays are just overdoing it and stuff. Like I said, I give my thumbs up on the Andy's Coming challenge. That was funny, and then the mannequin challenge. And there goes my dog again. And what do you call it? But yeah, no, these, like I said, these challenges that TikTok challenges, and I mean, where are these kids finding these challenges, man? That's what
no idea.
So, I mean, it is what it is. It just, kids, don't do nothing stupid. Just keep it to the real. I encourage the cinnamon challenge. Just have water playing. Just have a lot of water laying around, please. But anyways, so before we get to the topic, let's give a quick little water break. You guys need a water break?
All right.
All right. So we'll be right back.
Hey, this is Irving Gomringer, founder of Perla. Perla represents my journey. Born in Peru, raised in LA. The name itself combines the two places that shaped me. My brand is all about blending streetwear with simplicity and luxury, something LA is known for, with high-quality garments for those who value style and substance. My vision is to amplify Latino voices in that industry. By rocking with the brand, not only are you making your look stand out, but you're also helping me and all Latinos to be represented and celebrated. So if you're ready to elevate your fit and rep the culture, check out my website at www.per-la.com and on Instagram at LABRANDPERLA. Thanks for supporting Perla and being part of the movement. 10% of the profit will be donated to Action Against Hunger. Thank you.
All right. During the break, we were going to get into the topic, but Tyrone was talking about the felonies he committed. What happened? In fact, it's just a tortilla thing again. He's come on, you should have said that earlier.
No, it's just opportunity because he's hovering over my shoulder, and I go down and reach for the look at the packs, and I'm like thinking in my head, "Oh, perfect opportunity." So I grab the big, wide, 8 or 10-inch burrito pack.
The king size burrito tortillas, right?
Yeah. The Rose brand.
Yeah.
And
hashtag not an ad.
Yeah. And his face is just right there, right above my shoulder. I'm like, yeah, let's just. So just grabbed it, raised my head up, just tapped him slightly on the head, on the cheek, and he's like, whoa.
Are you sure it was slightly? Because you said tortilla and he flinched.
No. It was slightly, but now it's 8 giant 10-inch flour tortillas in a pack.
Yeah.
It feels like a brick.
You do understand the challenge is just one tortilla, right?
Yeah.
I don't think your dad knows that.
No, he knows it, but he's like, this kid can take a little bit.
The 8 flour tortilla challenge, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, he's like, my turn. I'm like, okay.
Now there's shit that we do to our kids, like it's just freaking hilarious out of nowhere. It does sometimes it does bite us in the ass. I do have to go check. I was talking to my brother a couple weeks ago that I need to go and get a physical done because my left hip, when I stand on my left foot for too long or I put too much pressure on that foot to stand me up against the wall or whatever, my hip starts to hurt. And I thought about it. So one day I tried to do a wrestling move with my son, and he retaliated. He defended himself, and I landed on my ass on the floor. Like pretty much, he scooped up my feet off the ground, and I went straight back. The whole house shook. We're talking.
Oh, wow.
This house was built in the 50s. The whole house shook. My wife runs out. Hey, you can't be doing that to your dad. He's old. Like, you're going to break him and this and that. And then she looks at me. This is your fault. You're the one teaching him all this wrestling shit. I'm like, well, yeah. I thought nothing of it until the last 2 months that I'm starting to it's just hurting. So, I talked about it in a podcast one day that I was on a treadmill and my back, my hip just started hurting really, really bad. And now that I'm thinking about it, I think I might have a small fracture, and that's the reason why it hurts. And I'm going to work every day. It's not like it's painful. It's like a 1 right now. I feel it. So I go to work, but I think that's what I think it is. So that's why I need to go to physical check. If it's either that or the doctor's going to say, you're just too fucking fat, bro. One or the other. One or the other.
Don't you hate that? They always just say that.
Yeah.
This is your weight.
Exactly. So let's get into it. The reason why we're here is because Jayden had a topic idea. And at first, I was kind of beating around the bush. I wasn't a fan of having a kid on here. But as you guys can hear, last week we had a bunch of kids on here. But no, I just didn't know what Jayden wanted to talk about, and his dad has been telling me for months now, hey, my son wants to come on, and you guys already saw or heard that all of December was already booked. So the moment I had an opening, I wanted to hear from Jayden first on why he wanted to come on the podcast, and I'm not gonna lie, my brother and my wife was like, really, like a child, and not that you're a kid, but when I say you were 14, she said, oh, okay, what does he want to talk about? And I said, well, this is what we're going to get into right now. And she was like, wow, that's actually a good idea. And my brother said the same thing. My brother's like, well, you don't promote it for kids. So, to have a kid on there, now you're kind of contradicting yourself, right? And again, man, I'm just going to clarify. It's not that we are on here talking about dirty stuff. There's podcasts where I've heard them being just nasty. Their jokes are too dirty. This podcast is not dirty. I honestly don't have a reason why I say not to for kids. Maybe because I swear a lot. I try my best not to be a sailor, but it happens. I'm comfortable with people. It just comes out. So, That's pretty much my only reason why I say not for kids. But other than that, I mean, I should probably start saying this podcast is not for kids. But I really don't have an explanation. It's just my dirty words, right? So, Jayden's topic is something that hit close to home. And my boys were going to be in here, but they were up last night pretty late. So I don't want to get up, Dad. So they didn't want to get up. So that's all right. I got Jayden here. Jayden, when I spoke to Jayden the other day on the phone, he was very, very, like, he's a very educated boy. That's, like just his mannerism, the way he speaks and everything. I cannot believe that his father is Tyrone. So, yeah, no, sorry, dude. This guy's being raised by the milkman or something. El lechero, man. It's just the way he speaks. He's like the day that I met him. So, again, back to the band. 4th of July week. That 4th of July week, the band had a fireworks stand outside of the Walmart in Baldwin Park. And Tyrone was very nice to bring his family over and support my boys' band and buy fireworks that day. One of those days. You guys live where? Cerritos?
Cerritos.
So they've had hundreds of locations, and they chose to come over here and support my boys' band. So when the wife asked who I'm talking about, I say, the guy that came over and buy fireworks. Oh, okay. Because sometimes she forgets people's names and faces. And I met Jayden, and Jayden was very well, like I said, very well mannered, very well, like the way he presents himself. I really like it. When I heard you on the Valentine in the Morning show, I was like, this is a 14-year-old kid? No shit. And so he wanted to bring up a topic about what it's like to be the child of divorced parents. And I was like, oh shit. You know what? You've heard it from my guests. You've heard it from as adults, but we've never heard it from a child or a teenager. You gotta stop saying child, right? You're a teenager. So the first thing that comes to mind to me as being a grown kid and an adult child is my mentality is, yay, 2 Christmases, right? So, but that's not the case, right? So let me see here. What is it? You said one of your bullet points was growing up. So explain, like, how old were you when they split?
I believe I was 3. I kind of think it was 3 because the only memory that I have of before I was 5 years old was me sitting at the little, like, toddler table, like the little plastic toddler table with those little plastic chairs.
Yeah.
And
your dad throwing a plate at the kitchen table saying, fuck this place, I'm out of here.
No.
I'm going to try to make it as comedic as possible. I don't want you guys, is his story coming from his heart. I just don't want to make Jayden cry. Oh shit, my water. Go for it.
The last memory I had was when I was about 3, and I was sitting at the little kiddie table eating a bowl of cereal at like 8 or 9 in the morning, and my dad and my mom were arguing.
I knew it.
Like yelling at each other.
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
And only thing I remember is me keep taking a bite of cereal and just kind of sitting there clapping my hands because I thought they were putting a show on for me. And then just my dad just going to the room, closing the door, and me going after him, just saying like, "That was a good show."
You know what's?
I have no recollection of that.
Well, he does.
Well, you're older, so.
And check this out. Honestly, I would have said in the past, how can this 3-year-old remember this shit, right? But I was just talking to somebody the other day about a memory that I had when I was about 3 or 4. So, when I was an adult, I learned that my father wasn't who I thought he was. Court documents state that somebody else is my father. That Martinez is not even my birth name, right? And I was telling this person I was talking to, I was like, yeah, I remember I was at this guy's house, pretty much the person that my mother was married to. I remember being at his house. I remember the side of his house, like the front yard, all along the fence and the wall towards the backyard had like these little these trees, just a bunch of little trees, right? And then when you open the side gate to go to the backyard, on the side of the wall, he had like chicken coops. Then in the backyard, in the corner of the backyard, he had like this nopal. I'm not sure how to say it in English. Nopal with the
cactus.
Cactus, yeah, okay, cactus. In the corner of the backyard, and he had like on the cactus is the little orangey reddish like fruits that grow on it.
Yeah.
And I remember learning how to ride a tricycle on his driveway, because his driveway had like a dip up and down. The gravity pushed me down, and I would walk it back up. Gravity pushed me down. So I pretty much taught myself how to ride a bike.
Okay.
So I had to have been like 3 or 4 myself. And I remember that. And I remember that was the last time I went to his house, because I was picked up. The police were called, and I was, I'm going to say it, forced to go with my mother. And as an adult, I learned that like I said, I understand now, because you learn that, hey, you're not supposed to, the police won't come and just take a child away, or the police won't come and take a child away if there's court documents. But as an adult, I put 2 and 2 together. As I'm talking this just the other day, having this conversation, I put 2 and 2 together and went, oh shit, he wasn't my biological father. So he had no court documents on me. So he had no choice but to give me back to my mother. And I still remember where the house is at. And the person I was talking to, she's like, well, why don't you go over there? What are the chances that his family might still own that house? Because now I am no longer curious to find my father. I'd rather find him, because he wanted me around knowing that I wasn't his son. So I do believe that, like I said, having this conversation the other day, I do believe that a 3-year-old can remember some of an event like that. But go for it, Gilbert.
Well, I mean, that's kind of all I really remember. And then I think either the day or week after that, I don't know, then my dad was just gone. And I was with my mom. Then it became, like, to where I'm going over with him on the weekend, and then I'm over here I'm with my mom during the week, going to school,
What do you think about, so this has been going on for like 11 years now, right? The visitations and stuff?
Just about, yeah.
Do you guys have court custody, Tyrone? Like documents, or just between you guys?
No, I mean, we have documents and stuff, yeah.
Yeah? What do you feel about this? I mean, let's see if you can remember, how was it like younger? Maybe like 5, 7, 8?
5, 7, I was kind of fine with it.
Yeah.
I generally thought that that's how you grow up. When I was that age, I thought, oh, this is normal.
Right.
But as I started growing up, I was like, oh, wait, having divorced parents isn't that normal. It's common, but it's not as normal as having married parents.
Yeah. I mean, speaking from what I experienced, I guess, the boys at first were like, yeah, I know this. I guess this is normal, because in the beginning of our breakup, it was more, I had the boys during the week from, like 2 to 7 maybe, for like 3 hours, like 3 hours, so 2 to 5, whatever, 2 to 5. And I would go pick them up, and then we'd hang out, and then take them back, and then again, pick them up, take them back. And it was an everyday thing. And then I started working, and my schedule changed. So then it went to every weekend. So those sucked, because by Wednesday I missed my kids. So I was like, fuck, I miss them. My wife saw that. And to them, yeah, they grew up as this is normal. You see this normal. But then as they're getting older and older, and they watch movies, and they see like, wait a minute, what? Like they're seeing this is not, or they start going to school, and they start talking to other kids, and they're like, wait, what? Your dad lives at your house? So then they start putting like, then they start questioning things. So is that what happened to you?
Kind of. What mostly happened was some of my friends in like elementary, they had parents who were together. I'm like, huh. I guess some parents are together, some parents aren't. So that's when I kind of was like, all right, so this is normal, but not that normal. It's kind of like it's kind of like a 50-50. I see it. 50% of kids have together parents, and the other 50 just they're not.
Yeah. And what was it like for like maybe like I made the joke earlier about the yay 2 Christmases because of what Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
We're breaking up. We're gonna divorce, and the kids, that was their response. Yay 2 Christmases. And when we say that, like here joking around, sometimes my wife's like, like, you're getting on my nerves, I'm like, wow, just leave you, and the boys are like, yay 2 Christmases. But they don't mean it because they just know that that's something I quote a lot. How was it like during like the holidays for you?
During the holidays before, I basically used to be like that. Yay, 2 Christmases, 2 Thanksgivings, all the food I want. Yay. Right. But now I'm kind of realizing that it is 2 Christmases, so it's fun, but it's more or less kind of a hassle.
Yeah.
On both ends, like for me and for my parents, because it's a lot of going back and forth, going with him for 3 days, going with my mom for 5, being with him for 1, not even seeing him for a week, being with my mom for 2 weeks, being with my mom for 1 day, coming over here. It's just a lot of like going back and forth and doing different activities during the holidays. Normal times, it's fine. I don't really mind it that much.
Yeah.
But the holidays, it just gets a little more hectic.
Yeah, it was, so with me, for my boys, it was like that in the beginning, but I've had full custody of them for the past, going on 11 years now. So it wasn't like that. It wasn't like the back and forth anymore, because once they're full custody, they live with me. Full custody means full custody. The only thing that sucked for them was the visitations, because their mom was awarded to see them at least once a month. So let me educate people real quick on how the court system works. For you that think I'm such an asshole for taking away the kids from their mom. The Ventura County courts, I'm not sure about the rest, but let's say California, doesn't just take kids away from their mothers for no fucking reason. There has to be reason why. And then for the fact that the mother of my kids only gets to see them once a month, that tells you something bad. Right? So what sucked for the boys and for myself was that when we were awarded to move out here and she still lived in Ventura County, the judge was like, okay, we'll let you move, but for that one visit a month, it is your responsibility to drive them down to Oxnard. And Oxnard is in Ventura County. And so I was like, I mean, fuck it, it is what it is. We get to move out there. We get to move, right? And so I would drive once a month to Oxnard to drop off the boys and the kid. And at that point, my daughter was living with us too. Which sucked because of the drive, right? We just can't be here down the street, whatever. So this one time, it was raining bad, pretty bad. We couldn't even see like 10 feet in front of us, but she refused to cancel that visit. So we're driving and we're not even going the speed limit because that's how bad it's raining. And you can hear my daughter and the boys are like, really? She couldn't cancel this visit? Like, look at how dangerous this is. And then for what? For us to just sit in her living room and not do nothing for 8 hours? And you can, as they get older, you can start seeing their kind of like their maturing and seeing like, right. Like, this is dangerous, Dad. I'm like, well, we're not even halfway there, guys. And like, this is dangerous. And then she had the freaking audacity to move to Bakersfield. So then that added more of a stress because now, okay, maybe my drive's shorter because Oxnard is an hour and a half from here. I know Bakersfield's 2 hours away, but like I told her, 2.5. But like I told her, hey man, I'm sorry. The court documents state that I'm to drive them to Oxnard. You're no longer in Oxnard. So I will meet you halfway, and I would meet her in Valencia. So behind the Six Flags, yeah, there's a Starbucks. # not an ad. Right there on Olds Road. We would meet there, and I would drop them off. I would come home, and then she would take off with the kids. And that's the one thing the kids would say is like, "Fuck, man, like the drive, an hour from our house to Valencia, another hour and a half from Valencia to her house." They were over it. They were 100% over it. Yeah. The holidays sucked because, so Christmas. This is the one thing she argued in court. Well, I celebrate Thanksgiving. What did I just tell you guys earlier? Well, we celebrate on Friday.
Yeah.
You can have them for Thanksgiving. But then either late that evening or early morning Friday, there I go back all the way to Oxnard to pick them up for just that one day.
Right.
Or meet her somewhere halfway just for that one day. Christmas. Well, I celebrate on Christmas Day. Or Christmas Eve. We celebrate Christmas Eve. That's fine. We celebrate Christmas Day. You know what I mean? Like, we don't even open gifts till 1 a.m.
Yeah.
So she really didn't have an argument. So I gave her everything she pretty much wanted for the holidays. But they were a pain in the ass because of the drives. With you and with your dad and your mom, did they have a long drive? Oh, you guys are sleeping.
Excuse me. It's a little early.
I know. I got you guys out here early.
Yeah. It's kind of a ways. We have
For
two.
me, from LA, it's like 2 hours from me to the meeting point. You know.
Yeah.
2 hours?
Yeah.
We have like two spots that we normally meet at. There's one in Eastvale and there's one in Ontario.
Okay.
So it's normally, if I had to say, it's about equal-ish on the distance sometimes. Depending on traffic, how traffic is each way. Normally, traffic's worse for my dad. So it normally takes him about an hour and a half or two to get to, like, Eastvale, and it takes us only about an hour to get to Eastvale. To Ontario, it's like 45 to an hour to go from Beaumont to there. And then it's about an hour 15, hour 30 for him. So.
Yeah, those drives suck.
Oh, yeah. Because normally they last from, like, as soon as I'm out of school at 3 and then I don't normally get back to his house till about 6, 7.
By that time, half the day is gone already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the boys started hating those drives. They were like, "No, Dad, we can't do this." I'm like, "Well, I know, but I mean, until now that they're, older, I tell them, okay, you guys don't want to make the drive." Because now, like I said, I stopped talking to her because this is the one thing I've been saying. Never badmouth, as a parent, never badmouth the other parent in front of the children. Because the children will catch on and be like, no, that's not right. And they start losing respect for the other parent, for the parent doing the badmouthing. So, like I tell the boys, they got to the point where, like, we don't want to go. I'm like, well, unless you guys told her you guys don't want to go, we got to make the drive. Because they hate the drive. They hate it. And now it's like, do we have to go somewhere? They don't want to. Now they're, introverts now? Because they hate those drives. And so now what happens is, since I don't speak to her, she drives all the way over here. She picks them up and then either drives them all the way back to Valencia, or she'll drive them somewhere. Like, one day the boys are like, she took us to the observatory. And she parked at the bottom of the hill and realized, holy shit, the observatory is way up there. Yeah, we're not going. She drove them over there for nothing. So, yeah, they hate those drives. And now it's like I said, I'm like, you know what, man? I'm not going to waste my time with the drives if the boys don't want to go. And the reason why I kind of put my foot down on the drives is because my daughter didn't talk to me for quite some time, and there was something that was being said amongst the mother of my kids and my boys and my daughter, where I brought it to the mother of my kids' attention, and she started, and all of a sudden my son is getting phone calls from his sister. And so I told the mother of my kids, hey, you know what? You got what you wanted. You wanted my daughter to hate me? That's fine. Cool. And I cut ties. So hopefully the relationship with your parents are not like that.
It's not.
But do you feel they communicate a lot?
Yeah. The relationship with my parents and my grandparents on both
sorry
sides.
about that, guys.
And everything like that. It's cool. But it's good. I have good, strong relationships with my dad, my mom, all my grandparents.
What do you feel the pros and cons are about having divorced parents?
Pros would probably be, more or less you kind of see more of the world instead of just being in one area. It's continuous back and forth, going to different areas, you know. So you kind of are out more than usual. You also have 2 Christmases.
Yeah.
2 Thanksgivings. Basically two of almost every holiday, which is great. I mean, feels great. 2 birthdays. It's pretty fun. 2 cakes, you know, all that stuff. More food, which I love food.
I'm gonna say had, because I don't talk to him anymore, and I want to share that story later on, but anyways, I'll get to that point later. Him and his ex-wife, and I think this is where I wanted to do the same thing. Him and his ex-wife got along so great that even after he had kids, his ex-wife would babysit his kids. Like, he remarried, had a new life, and they got along so well that she would babysit his kids. And to me, that was weird. I thought that was weird as fuck. I'm like, is that normal? That's not normal. Is that normal? And that's what he would always tell me, is like, you want to show your kids a normal life. And the fact that everyone gets along, and I'm like, oh, okay, so it's like a Kodak moment. I would say the Kodak movies and shit. And I remember one day he told me, and I would always say, fuck that, hell's no. And he told me one day, hey, think about it. Let's say that one day you're going to take your kids to Disneyland. And I'm like, okay. And they ask you, hey, Dad, can we bring our siblings? Are you going to be the asshole to tell your kids no, they can't? No, you won't bring their siblings? So he's like, man. So he's like, no matter how many kids the mother of your kids has after you, you'll have to be a part of those kids' lives in some way. And that was years ago, man. We're talking, he told me that 2011, let's say. Well, just a couple years ago, maybe let's say 2017, we had those kids here, or 2018, we had those kids here staying with us I my math is off, maybe 2020, maybe 2020, 2021. We had those kids here for a weekend. And we had the bounce house, we had the little basketball hoops that I have in the garage, and they were just having a good time. And I went back to what that guy told me, pretty much 10 years ago. Holy shit, he was right, So I believe that parents should get along regardless. And what about you, dude? What about you think? How do you think your relationship is with the mother of your kids?
It's good. It's been more kosher,
Yeah.
And everything. As far as like doing the pickup stuff, I have more text conversation with his grandpa, his grandma, more on that.
Yeah.
And then, other than that, it's been pretty. I don't know what's the word. Cordial, I guess.
I remember one day you called me and you asked for my advice about meeting your ex's new husband. Yeah. And I told you, I did it all the time. But my thing was like, because the mother of my kids always made it a goal to tell the kids, oh, this is your new dad, this is your new dad. I would go and introduce myself and say, hey, my name's Andy. I'm their father. Yeah. I'm their dad. I'm their dad. And no problem. I remember the last one I spoke to him, because I know that the mother of my kids can push people's buttons. Mm-hmm. I damn well know. So, and now that my boys are a lot older, they vented to me one day. We went over there and all they were doing was fighting, and they were like making things uncomfortable. And I hate hearing those stories, man. I hate them. And they were fighting, and they were like the entire time. So when I finally got to meet one of the guys towards the end, because I haven't met anybody after since, I went up to the guy and I'm like, hey man, do me a favor, man. I get it, bro. you want to, not that I condone it because I don't, but this is what I said. I'm like, dude, if you want to beat her ass, that's between you two. Don't do it in front of my kids. If you want to yell at her, disrespect her, that's fine. Do what you got to do. Don't do it in front of my kids. Because you disrespect, in a way, and it's reality, you disrespect her in front of the kids, you're disrespecting them. You disrespect them, you're disrespecting me.
Yeah.
So, can it wait? Because that's the one thing the boys always said, like during visits. That all they're doing is fighting. All they're doing is fighting. So it's like, what's the point in going to a visit if you're just going to see two people bickering the entire time or fighting or whatever? So, I'm glad you guys don't give him that. You don't see any of that, right?
Mm-mm.
That's
No,
good.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I asked him, like, would you want me to meet, the guy she's seeing or whatever? He's like, yeah, that's fine. Or, well, no, what'd you say?
I said, sure, that'll probably be good.
Yeah.
Like, as I figured, because I asked him, like, how do you feel about him? He's like, he's doing well, he treats me well. I'm like, okay.
Cool.
So, I just want to get his personal, what do you say, opinion as far as that,
Yeah.
and then go from there. So, just went went over, just wanted to kind of welcome him in,
Yeah.
or whatever. But, just basically, just be like, I'm here. Like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah. I just, my thing is that, like, when you see movies and stuff, we're watching movies and the kids, and you see, like, two families interacting, and then you find out that, one person is, they're divorced parents, and they're bringing two families together to continue. I've had a guest on here that she was invited to her ex-husband's wedding. My sister-in-law, her parents are divorced, and they're at every party. They're there together and they're socializing, and they're the exes. The mom is speaking to the ex-husband's new wife now. Like that's what I love, and I kind of wanted that with the mother of my kids, to show our kids some kind of peace, normalcy. Mm-hmm. It's just impossible. Like I said earlier, it's just saying hello bites me in the ass. There's no point in wasting my time. I tried, and I was having a conversation with my daughter a few months ago, and she was like, Dad, well, you guys, and she kept on saying you guys. So I had to stop her. Oh, look, kid, don't give me the you guys speech. Because if I'm correct, I did this, I did that, I did this. This last time, my wife wanted to go rent a cabin in Big Bear for all of us to go and experience that.
Right.
And that's the one thing I reminded my daughter, like, you can't say you guys anymore when I've tried. And then she was like, no, Dad, you're right. No, you're right. And so you have had a way better experience when it comes to divorced parents compared to my boys. Because they see nothing but ugly. You've seen nothing but two parents actually co-parenting. They haven't seen that from myself and their mom. When I told the boys, hey, you guys want to come on the podcast, and then about what? And I was like, we're going to talk about being raised by divorced parents. And they started laughing. They're like, we don't have that, because they consider my wife their mom.
Yeah.
Their mom. And I'm like, I was talking about, I always say wah-wah. I was saying wah-wah over there. And they're like, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
They don't see her like, they don't, because I did take them when they were like, they never saw, no, Nick did see us together for a little while. But it wasn't, like I said, their experience was probably the same thing as what you said. The last image the memory you have, it's probably the same thing with him. He always saw just us fighting and fighting and fighting. That he blocks all that shit out. But no, they're like, they both said, not that they're making fun of the story, but they were like, they don't feel they have that, and because of my wife, So, but I mean, what is it? Is there any other things that you remember or you want to share with other kids what you're going through, like words of wisdom, advice?
I would probably say just like just try your best to keep your parents co-parenting if they are. Like, don't do anything that you think could separate that, or anything that you could see could have a possible consequence of, like, you're forced to stay with the other parent for saying that or something, because they're gonna think the other parent said that, and you were told to say that to them, you know. Just try to don't do anything that you see could have consequences and mess up basically your life.
Yeah. What do you see? I mean, you got, 4 more years of this?
Yeah.
Once you're an adult, you can decide whether you want to go visit your dad or not. Or you want to go back, if you're at your dad's house, whether you want to go back to visit your mom. That's totally up to you. But honestly, it does give us, it will give your dad a break, that's for sure. It sucks. We don't want to see our kids, grow up. And it sucks. I've always said it. I've told my boys over and over again, man, I told you guys not to grow up. But damn, I can't wait for fucking February 2027. I've been saying that for years because that's when the youngest turns 18. And all because of, like I said, just I had a horrible co-parenting experience. Horrible. So, yeah, no, you had a good one, bro. You had a good, your parents co-parent, they did. Was it like that from day one, Tyler? Tyrone?
Yeah, well, if I remember, because I do remember a little bit, it was a little rocky start, you know. Sometimes I remember before some arguments would break out over the phone, but things have gotten a lot better. There's no more arguing. I don't remember last time I saw or heard an argument between him and my mom. They've been pretty good about co-parenting, and whenever they're on, like, a call or something, they make jokes and stuff, you know.
There you go,
laugh with each other.
There you go.
Have fun.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't say they're exactly best friends.
And they're not supposed to be best friends.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. Yeah. But, or neutral with each other. They can have fun with each other, you know.
Yeah.
Just, they can be friends at times, and most times they're kind of friendly with each other. There's been a few times where they're a little but they've never gotten.
Are you the only? Is he the only child?
Yes,
yeah?
I'm the only child.
So what was it like to? I can keep this conversation going now that I remember something. How was it like when? How was it when your dad? I mean, he's your fiance, but you guys have been together for a long time, bro.
10 years.
Yeah, 10. You guys are fucking common law married by now.
Yeah.
So how was it when your dad introduced you to like a bonus family, like a bonus mom and a bonus sister?
Do you remember that day at Ferguson?
Because 10 years ago he would have been 4, right?
I don't exactly remember it, I would say, but
how is it now then?
Now it's good.
Because you pretty much have grown up with the sister. Because they're pretty much the same age, right? Almost.
Oh yeah.
2 year difference.
2 year difference.
My experience with it, as far as that, day one, we took both the kids to Frankenson's. And they're pretty much wearing Ninja Turtle t-shirts.
No shit.
Yeah.
Did we just become best friends?
And then both their names start with J. Jayden and Justine. And, from day one, he was like holding her hand like brother and sister skipping along or whatever.
That's awesome.
We get more sibling fights now. It's funny.
Yeah. I'm like, all right. I tell Lisa, I'm like, isn't it so great? They get along so well, you know.
I mean,
as they hear us like just like fighting in the next room, it's hilarious.
Frisbee disc in their room, hitting the wall, and I'm like, knock it off,
Yesterday the boys were out here helping me, kind of clean the yard. 'Cause like I said, I really never have guests here, and so the walkway, because the dogs dig a lot, half the walkway was pretty much being with dirt because of, and grass already growing on it. That's how long it's been since I've cleaned the walkway. And they were out here helping me out. So when I was trying to turn on the leaf blower, that explains this cut right here. And I think it needs a new fuse. And I couldn't get it going. They were in the meantime in the other part of the garage playing pool, laughing, having a good time. And then And then once they saw that I went inside, my wife said, "No, you can't be playing in dirt no more. You got to get that cleaned up, and then we got to put medicine on it." I'm like, "Okay, cool." Went in the house, she showered, and then I see in the camera that they're in the backyard cleaning the backyard and stuff. Okay, cool. Then they're like, "Dad, there's still space in the trash can." So they'll start raking down leaves in the front yard. Normally they use a leaf blower, but I couldn't get it on. So they're raking the front yard, and then you hear them fucking bickering and fighting. And I'm like, no, this and that. Well, I gotta go clean the dog bowl. I don't know. I'm like, what the fuck happened in the last 2 minutes?
Yeah, that's the 3 shades of like siblings. You basically you got just shenanigans, just doing whatever random things that they find funny. Basically, whenever siblings are together, the way I see it is that side is basically just somehow the two or however many siblings are there, contracting ADHD for the second. Because, I mean, I swear, it seems like it. Like, last night, me and Justine, we were messing with the Frisbee, and then, I swear, somehow we activated our ADHD or something. We don't have it. We don't have it described, but we say to each other, I swear we both have ADHD. Because whenever we get to playing something fun, we play with it for about 10 minutes, then we find another thing, and another thing, and another thing, and we just keep going back and forth. Oh, let's do this old thing. Yeah. Oh, wait, let's do this. Oh, wait, hold on, there's this new thing. Let's open that. Let's leave this on the table now and go do the other thing. We can't decide what to do.
And then, like, as a parent, you're like, what is this chaos? But then, in your mind, it's like sweet birds just, putting along, singing a song. It's like they get along so well.
Yeah.
And then as soon as a certain toy or something enters the midst, it just becomes chaos.
Yeah.
And we start fighting, and just like she digs her nails into me.
Yeah.
And then I just try to push her off, and then the next second we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, like taking the trash out or something.
We can be out in public and they're fine. Like, look at my little angels, right?
Yeah.
And the moment we get home, I tell my wife, I swear there's a negative energy in this fucking house. Because damn.
Yep, I swear that's us. Me and Justine, we normally behave when we're out. There's times when we don't. If anything, more or less, the people who don't behave when we're out would be me and my dad.
Yeah.
Like, it's always Alicia, like, knock it off! Like, cause like, we do random things, like, we grab things at the store, just start hitting each other with them, like, whenever at Walmart, we just grab poo noodles, like, the giant poo noodles, start smacking each other with them.
Trust me, that sounds...
Just, sometimes Justine joins in, oh, it's great. It's so fun. And then Alicia's just, like, the one who's like, I'm getting embarrassed here, please stop!
My brothers, when I still spoke to my mom, when I first started the podcast, I had my brothers on the podcast, it's called Brotherly Love episode. You should listen to that one because it's funny because my mom, like I said, my mom had 12 of us, right? You have the first half and then you have the second half. The first half have their stories. The second half have their stories. And the kids, the younger ones, when they hear the stories that we say about what we did as kids, what we did at the store, and we did this and we did that, poo noodles, that's one that comes up. The younger kids were like, damn, we missed out. We should have been a part of that. The older siblings, because like we weren't around that. We didn't see that. And then, like I said, it's just like the stupidity that we would do, they didn't get to see. And they wish that they got to experience that because a lot of it involved fucking starting to wrestle in a freaking, back then with the Kmart, poo noodles and start throwing shit at each other from the shelves and
me
stuff.
Me and my dad love just wrestling each other in the middle of Target, and Alicia gets so embarrassed. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh my god. Well, you talked about your sister. What about your bonus mom?
She's good.
Yeah.
I love the food she makes. She makes some pretty good. Her breakfast is delicious.
If I'm correct, she taught you photography? I see photos that you're there.
Yeah.
You're on there.
She's like teaching me how to do the camera and stuff. It's kind of like I'm a natural or something.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty good at taking pictures. I don't have a camera. So normally whenever she let me borrow a camera or something. Sometimes I go with her to take pictures for some of our families or her friends' weddings.
Yeah,
and help her with that sometimes.
I'm more of an action shot photographer. So I'd like to go see kids play t-ball or softball, and then take the shots either swinging or they're sliding, the dirt in the air. And I showed that to my boys, and my son actually asked me, Dad, when are we going to go back to the baseball field so we can take some shots of the T-balls? I don't like doing like wedding photos, like the poses and stuff like that. I'm not very good at telling people how to stand.
Yeah.
And in fact, we went to go take a few months ago. We took photos with my boys at the there's a park down the street, and I was like, I look like I'm standing so uncomfortable. My boys are the ones, you stand here, you do this, you do that. I'm like, put your hand over here. I'm like, the fuck. But yeah, no, that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool what do you call it, hobby or a skill to have, because people are always going to need photographers. Is that something that you think of picking up, or?
I think photography would probably just be more or less like my hobby. I mean, because I don't exactly do it because I feel like it. I just kind of do it because it's kind of fun.
Gotcha.
And if I have to, I will, because I know how to.
It's when he's in the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't just be like, okay, I'm going to go outside and take a picture. I just, if the situation comes up, then I'd probably do it.
Yeah. So besides the cooking and photography, what else? Or cooking, what meals does she make that you love the most?
Probably potato tacos.
Potato tacos?
Yeah. It's basically just a taco shell of potatoes, and she puts a bunch of cheese in it. It's really good. And then there's also, it's very simple what she makes.
The meat potatoes?
Yes, meat and potatoes. It's just like ground beef, like the ground beef that you put in tacos.
Yeah.
Just mix a bunch of that with potatoes, some salt and pepper and cheese, and it's really good.
Well, looking at you,
yeah.
Tyrone, obviously your culture is different to Alicia's, because Alicia's Mexican, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm Mexican too, but...
Well, they're both Mexican, but my dad's more or less like a white-sican.
Whitewashed.
Yeah, he's like a...
Whitewashed.
Yeah. He loves Mexican food,
he's
but
more of a...
like pina colada.
He's more of a roast beef, right?
Yeah. Alicia's more like hardcore Mexican kind of, like spicy stuff.
Yeah.
All the traditional Mexican foods, all that stuff.
It can be spicy, but
it's funny because my boys, right? They hate onion. So I don't know.
Tomato.
I hate fideo. You guys eat fideo? The little like the shells, the little soup, the shells, or like sometimes it's like the alphabet, or like
at least he calls it sopita.
Sopita. Okay,
Yeah.
sopita, fideo.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I fucking hate that.
I love it.
Because I grew up on that shit, right? So I hate it. So my boys hate onions.
I only got fed to me randomly when I was sick or something.
No. So they hate onion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they like fideo. So my wife will make the fideo. And, oh shit, this is pretty good. This is good. They like it. And then so one day my son's like, well, can I make it? I want to make it. And then she's like, okay, cool. So they make it. And it's like, this is not the same. This tastes different. This is nasty. We don't like it. Like, what happened? Well, we made it just like you did. No, you didn't. Did you guys add onion to it? No. Onion gives it that flavor that you're looking for. And they're like, what? No, we hate onion. No. There was onion in the fideo that I make. All the time there's onion in it. They're like, no, it's not. Yes, there is. So they're like, Mom, can you make us a fideo? Can you just not let us see what you're going to put it in? So they hate it when I cook, because if I make, let's say, rice, right? Spanish rice. I just, make the slice. I slice it. It's just a slice, just a, round slice. Throw it in there. My wife chops it up so small that it blends in with the rice, so you don't even see it. So they hate when I make rice, and they love when I'm like, why? We both put rice. We both put onion in it. Why do they hate mine and they love yours? Because I chop it up and they don't see it. As they're eating it, they don't see it because it blends in with the rice.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck. All right, that makes sense. How the fuck does it blend in with the rice? So I did it one day. How the fuck is this gonna blend in with the rice? And I'm making the rice, and I'm like, oh shit, I don't see the onion. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, no, it's Alicia has the magic touch when it comes to making.
I basically eat anything she makes, and it's the same thing with like my mom's side. I love the food they make.
Yeah.
My grandma's spaghetti on that side, really good. My mom makes some really good chili beans. And the funny thing is, me, my mom, and Alicia, we all kind of do the same thing. Like, sometimes my mom just says, like, hey, let's go, and we just kind of go to either Starbucks or just go someplace either in the morning or at night. And kind of the same way with Alicia, most times in the morning, me and her, we would go to Starbucks while my dad and Justine are still sleeping. Because Justine doesn't, if you don't wake her up, she'll sleep till 1.
Yeah.
My dad, if you don't wake him up, he'll sleep the entire day. He's like a rock.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
I'm the one waking you guys up.
Well, I mean, if Roxy wakes you up, if we were to take Roxy and put her at her sister's or something, and she wasn't there, same thing with the cats, you would not wake up. You would be out like a stone. Because that's your timer, is the pets.
Yeah.
Now, for me, the timer is my timer internally. I'm used to getting up at 4 or 5 in the morning, so...
I still have that, bro. I came home New Year's Day. We got home like at almost 1 in the morning. Knocked out by like 1:30. Dude, I was up at 5:30 again. I couldn't go back to sleep.
Yeah, same thing here. I've been on vacation for the past week and a half, and every day I just made sure that I was up. I ended up being up by 5.
Yeah.
Not just because the dog wants to go out because she used my schedule.
Yeah.
But I wanted to keep that internal clock and my schedule the same, so I try it. Once it gets past 8, if I wake up and I see that, I might want to just stay in and just sleep until 9, but I ended up, at least one day out of this whole time being off, where I ended up taking an extended nap and slept until noon.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You know.
So, I know I was pretty much close to wrapping it up, but then I forgot another topic and stuff, another question. But again, you probably already said it, but like I think you already gave your advice to kids. But any other one before we end this? And thank you for being more talkative than your dad, because last time he started too soon and ended it too early. This guy, your son, talks, bro.
Yeah.
Where do you get the talking from? Your mom's side or
both?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, your dad can be a talker.
Oh, he can get very chatty.
Yeah,
very chatty.
Yeah.
Same thing with my mom. She can get super chatty when she wants to.
Yeah.
When they both want to. If they feel like it, they can talk for hours. And if they just feel like being kind of more just talking here and there, then they can talk here and there.
Okay. Any last tips? If someone's going through a divorce right now, if a child is going through divorced parents right now, what would you tell them?
It's gonna be a rocky start, but you'll get used to it and just power through it. It'll be fine. Just try to get through it.
I like that.
There will be rough patches, but most of the time it'll be nice, fun, loving.
And do you agree that do you believe that your parents breaking up, divorcing, do you feel any way it's your fault?
I don't feel like it's my fault. I feel like more or less it's just after they had me, there was like a little bit more stress on the both of them.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, we see that plenty of times in the world where two people, it's like they're meant to be, and then they have a kid, and then the stress gets too much for them, and they just can't be together anymore. That I feel like that's what kind of happened. Like they were together, they had nice chemistry before, but then when I came along, just too much stress on each of their shoulders of trying to provide the perfect life, all that stuff.
See, that question opened up another question. Do you believe that's the case, Tyrone?
I feel
because I was saying a lot of kids that go through this, they blame themselves.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I was going with this question.
Well, I mean, I've told them, we've had conversations where I told them it wasn't your fault or anything like that. It was just something your mom and I were going through, and I want to say I can't say it's 100%, but I feel like, yeah, I mean, the stress was there, and especially when I was working a split shift, doing tow trucking, and, everything kind of, as far as my opinion, it kind of relied on me as far as getting home.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to eat with me and do things with me, and I only had a limited amount of time because I had 3 hours of free time, and then the 5 hours of free time after the second shift. So where I was like, I felt like, I had a lot of pressure kind of put on me because he was relying on me, but he was also relying on his mom there.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then I know she kind of felt like everything kind of weighed on her at home, and I'm feeling like everything kind of weighed on me because I couldn't provide what I really wanted to provide at the time.
Yeah.
As far as where we live, where we're living at, and all that stuff.
But do you? It isn't like you don't feel like, okay, well, kind of in a way you kind of said maybe. But do you feel that way? Like, do you honestly feel that way? Like,
I don't feel like it
was...
was...
Do you kick yourself in the ass for it, is what I'm saying.
No.
Okay.
I don't feel like it's all my fault. I feel like it is, in a way, it's not exactly my fault. It's just me coming into their life that added a lot of stress on both of their shoulders.
Gotcha.
Because they kind of both thought that they were both carrying the weight of each other and me on their shoulders. And it just kind of was more or less, it just happens fast.
Okay.
So they both didn't really get a chance to kind of like talk it out and try to go through it. So they just kind of started arguing because of the stress getting into their head.
Yeah, stress can cause arguments and shit. Sometimes I'll get home from a stressful day at work and my wife said, "Whoa, we didn't do anything to you, remember?" So she checked me this last time. I came home because I had a conversation with a friend and just the stuff that he told me, I came home and I was just like fucking pissed. And my wife said, because I could see my son from down the hallway asking my wife, "What happened? What happened?" I can hear them, right? And then when she saw my wife saw that I kind of like had a tone, she, we didn't piss you off. Somebody else did. So I kind of like had to check myself real quick. But hey, man, like I said, thank you for coming on here, man. And before I end the podcast, but like I said, we don't hear it from a kid's point of view. There have some kids that have hurt themselves because they do blame themselves. But in a way, it's like as parents, and I'm sure Tyrone can agree, we try our best. Yeah, we try our best, and like I said, there's only so much you can take. So I myself put up with a lot of shit that I had to. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. So I had to leave.
Yeah, I've only been parenting for 14 years, so I've never done it before.
Yes, exactly. So, adults make mistakes and they're not perfect. And sometimes, I don't know if some parents regret it. They're like, "Hey, shit, maybe I could have worked this out." I mean, because we see what happens to the child. But it looks like due to the fact that, your dad here has had a mother figure in your life on his side, you see that normalcy. They've been together for 10 years. Then you see the normalcy at your mom's house. It's just, you're just, not cut in the middle, but you are, what's the word I'm trying to say here? You still have both your parents, man. You still have both your parents. I don't even know who my dad is. So you still have both your parents, and you see the lifestyle over here, you see the lifestyle over there. And at the end of the day, it's not like you're a troubled kid. You don't look like a troubled kid at all. You don't sound like a troubled kid at all. So obviously your parents, like you said, they sound like they're really good friends. That's what you need. That's fine. Good. All right. My parents weren't meant to be together, but they're really good friends now. There you go. Like I said, you do not sound like a troubled child at all. So kudos to you. Kudos to your dad for doing what he has to do. Because like I said, there's kids that are, you can see it at school. They're troubled. They're what's going on at home. So, let me remind real quick. Remind the listeners again. The hotline 818-806-8595. If you have a question for Jayden, leave me a voice message and I'll get back with Jayden and answer the question as best as possible. Get his answer as best as possible.
I'll be happy to answer.
He'll hear that. And again, IG Ride With Me podcast, TikTok and YouTube FTA podcast, and then don't forget to check out the sponsor LABRANDPERLA on Instagram. And guys, like I end every podcast, thank you for riding with me.
All right, you're welcome.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to Ride With Me, the Flat Tire Indie podcast. You can also listen to us on
iTunes, Spotify, and Podbean.